and welcome to my kitchen cabinet. Today we are going to be dyeing some fall colorway yarns. These cups are empty. I don't know why I'm showing them to you, but that's what we're doing. So without further ado, we will get started. So I figure since we're doing fall, we're gonna use apple cider vinegar instead of regular vinegar. Regular being white wine vinegar or whatever. And I'm just gonna start off by pouring a little bit of that into each cup. And I don't use precise measurements. Perhaps I should, but I don't. I just pour a little bit in. Pour a good little, like a fourth a cup in each cup. And then I'm going to add my colors. So we're gonna do a orange, a purple, which I hardly have any purple left, so hopefully this is enough, and a lot of maroon or burgundy, whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna try to do like a nice speckly guy. Some speckles are gonna be happening. And these are gel-based food colorings that I use, so they are a little bit harder to mix. They don't necessarily love to be mixed. And I do already have my, ew, bubbles. Can you see that little bubble? Ooh, okay. I do already have my water heating up on my stove for my yarn. That way I can just drop them in when we're done dyeing them up. And we've got orange. Hoping that orange will be like a nice bright pumpkin-y color. I'm thinking I might want to add just like a touch of red to the orange. Or maybe a touch of burgundy to the orange. But we're gonna get a fuse or a knife and we're gonna mix. And I like to mix my lightest color first. That way it's easier to rinse it off my mixing utensil. So next we would mix the purple. The purple never looks purple in the cup. It always looks blue in the cup. And then our burgundy maroon, which looks black in the cup. Perfect. All right. We are all mixied. My next thing that I do is I have one of these big boys and I'm gonna set it down and I'm gonna put yarn in it. And I can usually put about 3 skeins in there. This would be the point that you might want to put on some gloves because we are going to be touching and moving some dye around with our hands. I will put on gloves. I'm gonna set a good example. I have such a hard time figuring out the skein situation. Okay, one big bad boy, and I'm gonna just like twist him and pop him in. And I think we are gonna do one at a time. So I'm gonna move you down out of my cabinet and onto my microwave. Welcome to the microwave. And for this part, we're gonna get a fork. I don't know how most people dye their speckles, but I use a fork. And I once again start with the light colors first. I might even want to move you down to the stove so you can really see what's happening. Well, not really, because I don't have like camera stuff, but I just kind of pat the colors onto the yarn with the fork at first and spoodle them on there. Give them a little sprinkle. Give them a little sprinkle, if you will. You can poke them with the prongs of your fork. Get them nice and saturated. And then once I have my base speckles on there, I'm gonna put on a glove. I didn't come prepared. I thought I came prepared, but I was incorrect. I didn't come prepared. And I have dye on my hands and it's blue. I didn't even use anything blue. So I'm just gonna kind of do a little bit of this, a little bit of pouring her on there. And then a big smush. Big smush. Soak up all the stuff that we've got in the bottom happening. And then we'll go ahead and flip it over and pour in a bit more. Make sure we get a little bit everywhere. And then we'll add our purple, which really looks blue still, but I have faith that it will become purple. And I'm just gonna pour this in around in some of the empty spaces and give it a good pat. Really, the purple looks clear almost on the yarn. The orange is going to be super vibrant though, so that's good. And we'll do a little purple right there. And a little bit. Okay. And then last but not least, we've got our burgundy, and we're going to try to get the rest of it kind of saturated with the burgundy. And now I don't pre-soak my yarn because I don't want colors to be absorbed where I don't want them. So I just put the vinegar in with the dye and then let it do its own thing from there. So we've got a nice base fall situation happening here. I am likely going to add a touch more burgundy and a touch more orange. So give me just a second and I'll do that. So now we've got a nice, pretty, hard to show you, fall situation happening. We've got some burgundies and some orange. And then on this side we've got this, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop it into the water. Hopefully this doesn't make me be upside down for you guys. I think I am upside down now. Okay, now I'm right side up again. And I'm just gonna plop it in the water. I do use a super wash so it won't felt. Shouldn't have it boiling. I do have it boiling. I'm gonna turn it down now. Having it boiling just makes it kind of smelly. Boiled yarn mixed with vinegar is not a great scent, believe it or not. So yeah, we're just gonna let that cook up until all the color comes out and the water is clear. And honestly, it takes a different amount of time every time I do it. So I cannot tell you how long it'll take, but I can tell you that I'm gonna put a lid on it. And I will be back to show you the finished product. Alright, I'm gonna be back a little sooner than that because I actually have other colorways I want to work up as well. So I'm gonna do an all orange one, and it'll be tonal. I love a good tonal. I am gonna fill her up with some orange. Looks very blood spattery right now, which I love. And I am gonna throw just a dash of maroon in here as well, because I think it'll darken up the orange a bit and make it really pretty and make it go nicely with the other yarns that we're working on right now. So we'll see how that one turns out, but we've got our little spatula. Just stab her down. So how I do my tonals is apparently different than other people do their tonals, which I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't know how to dye yarn. That is why I am called Imposter Yarns. No training, no YouTube videos, just decided that this was how I was gonna dye yarn. I asked a couple of my friends how they dyed theirs. Got some good advice. I wouldn't have known to use vinegar. Probably not the sharpest tool in the shed. But I just squeezed some food coloring into a pot, add water, add vinegar, and then I smush it all around with the yarn. Smush the yarn all around in there. It's looking so pumpkin-y, I love it. Smush her real good. And then it takes the colors in all different ways. So you're not really ever sure quite how it's gonna turn out, which I like. I like the surprise element, the element of surprise, if you will. So I'm gonna cover that pot, and then we're gonna do one more. And a maroon base, just maroon. And this could make like a really pretty shawl, all three of them together. Or alternatively, it couldn't. So I have some maroon left over in my cup, so I'm just gonna kind of like bonk my cup around in here to get it all out. Don't want to use more yarn, more dye than we have to. And I am out of vinegar now, so I'm trying to get it all out of the cups. There is a good bit in the cups. Alright. This is gonna be like a pretty like plum shade, I think. And I'm just gonna pop him right there. Get a different yarn out. So now we're gonna have 3 left to dye after this. Let's buy more. And we'll turn the heat on and stick that stinker in there. And then the most important part is to give him his pat so he gets under the water. It's a lot less useful if the yarn just sits on top of the water, believe it or not. I'm sure you believe it, because why wouldn't you? Alright, here it goes. We're gonna smash it like we're gonna smash some pumpkins. In like a month. It's a month away from Halloween, so it's appropriate for me to be Halloween themed right now. I think it's always appropriate to be Halloween, but some people disagree with me. And you know what I say to that? Boom. Literally. Alright. All of these guys are soaking and cooking nice and pretty. Oh, the pumpkin one, I love it so much. I'm going to turn down the heat. Turn it to medium. This one is something. Yes, yes. Oh, I love it. Okay. So I'll just let that guy simmer more. And the purple is not even hot yet, so we'll just let it go for a while. Maybe turn it down to medium too, since I don't have a third. But that is it, and then I'm gonna come back and show you everything when it's finished. Right again. I'm back to show you my spooky, scary cat. Because it's Halloween and it's a spooky girl. She says, I'm so spooky. I'm so spooky. This video is brought to you by ramen noodles. Not really. I'm not sponsored. But I have to tell you, I found these noodles at Walmart and they're 37 cents and they're vegan, beef flavored ramen and I love them. I'm obsessed. So all the yarn is done. I just have to rinse it and let it cool off a little bit. And then we will eat lunch first too. And then I'll show you everybody before they dry. Change. But this is our first one with the maroon and the orange. And it's got different colors throughout. Nice bright orange. And a nice dark maroon down at the bottom. So we'll let this one dry outside. Got our nice tonal orange. Can't lie, I'm obsessed with it. It is very pumpkin, and it does have these patches of darker orange in it as well as lighter areas, and I love that. Last but not least, we've got our maroon, which did turn out pink, but I love it.